LevelUp is a regular podcast that brings you topics to help you perform at work and in life at your very highest level. Your host is Dan Chiodo, an executive coach, corporate trainer, and author. He is president of Impact Training and Executive Coaching. And now, here's Dan.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Here we are at LevelUp, the place to go when you want to grow. There are so many different topics that we could cover, but one that deserves a special highlight, I think, is positivism. How do we stay positive? And as an executive coach and a corporate trainer, I meet a lot of people. But the person I'm going to introduce today has it figured out, a positive outlook. And I love to talk about that because I think that's how we make things happen. It's the way he sees life. And so we're going to explore that a little bit. Our guest is originally from Boston, and although he lives in Naples, Florida, he enjoys all Boston-based sports. He has been with Waste Management here in Naples for 20 years. And now I'd like to introduce him to tell the rest of the story. So Larry Berg, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you for that great introduction.
Yeah.
And being a Boston-based sports guy isn't too bad right now.
You know what? I see a lot of smiles. I saw the whole team at Orlando at Disney, and wow, they are on right now. I'm pretty happy. So
very good. Yeah, very good. It was fun. It was a fun Sunday for us, all of us New England fans.
I knew that you would be happy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to talk about your history a little bit. Give me an idea of where it all started. What jobs did you have before Waste Management?
Sure. I mean, it's a pretty short history because I was in college, coming out of college when I was just turning 20, and I'd only been in college for a couple of years, and I was out looking for just a regular job, just figure out where I was going to go in life. And I actually started pretty much right with a company called SCA Services, and they were a rubbish company out of Manchester, New Hampshire. And I answered an ad, went in, got hired to work on the back of the rubbish truck. So here I am, 20 years old, pretty good shape, feeling good. Say, hey, you know what? I always wanted to work in corporate America. That was probably one of my goals growing up as I was going through high school. My mother was a young lady who sort of taught me and talked to me and coached me through, career. Have a career in your life, figure out what you want. Always wanted to be in corporate America. So SCA Services was not on my radar screen. I was with them for about 6 months, and then Waste Management bought them out. So I was in the right place at the right time, you would say.
So that company, those services were similar to what Waste Management does then?
The same services in New Hampshire. And then Waste Management came in 6 months into my tenure with the company, purchased the company, and needless to say, I have been with them for 35 years now, and have worked my way, as you know, up the ladder, different positions within the company, and has been very happy from day one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, in that business, I can tell there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot going on. How do you keep a positive attitude? You're a positive.
Yeah, I am a very positive person through my years in high school, through, competitive sports, even when we lost a big game, I never really took it upon. I never got angry. I never got, sometimes you get a little frustrated, but overall, life can be a lot of fun. And one thing that I was taught from my mom, once again, she gave me this DNA of looking at things a little bit differently. And I've always enjoyed being positive, talking to my coworkers. If I was as a dispatcher up to where I am now as a senior district manager, trying to show people that being a positive influence in your workforce and with your people will potentially make you a very successful manager, not only myself, but as I look at it, as my managers are successful, I'm successful. And being positive is very difficult. I tell people, I've had this saying for a long time within the organization, It was very easy to be negative. It's very, very easy to be negative. There's so many negativity things going on in the world, in your life, at the job. But you know what? I think it's very difficult to remain positive every day. But if you do it and it becomes part of your nature, I think that you'll see an enormous benefit to your organization and to your people. I get a lot of comments about, geez, Larry, we don't see you yelling. We don't see you frustrated around the halls and being aggravated. I always make it a point to say hi to my employees, shake their hands. How are they doing? It doesn't matter what type of day I might be having. I want them to see a positive manager, positive Larry, so they know, what, everything must be going well because Larry's always pretty happy. So, we must be doing something right. And, you try to teach that to your managers within the organization. And I think the more that they can grab on to that positivity and being positive, you're going to have a better workforce. And, we see the results here at Waste Management. We really do. Our organization here in Naples is very first rate. Our drivers are fantastic. We have a great reputation on the street with our drivers waving and talking to children and families. And, we've had some recent news coverage with one of our employees that just was a magnificent piece of one of our drivers who has just a great outlook on life. And I said, you know what? That goes as far as you want it to go. It's just positivity can change a lot.
It can, and I think for anyone listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, that they can learn a lot from that, because being at Naples and watching your folks in action, that's one of those things that I noticed. It was so different that when you wave to the drivers, they wave back, they smile, and you don't always have it. So I guess that's important for leaders to know that however you act, however you do it, that's what's going to happen within your workforce, right?
Yeah, correct. I think the more that you as a manager or your managers are positive with their coworkers, and as I said, positive can be a lot of things. It can be just a regular, hey, thank you for coming in and doing a great job. It doesn't have to be, high-fiving and all this, but we look at it as the more we can continue to tell our drivers and show our drivers that we care. We care about them and their families. We care about our community. We want our community to look at us as a very positive company. It can go anywhere. I mean, as I said, to have NBC2 News come down to Naples and do a story on one of our drivers who just says hi to children on regular on their route and see the impact it has on all of the neighbors. It was phenomenal. We had a lot of neighbors out there just talking about the impact that driver had on those children and their community. So
that's great. That's great. What do you think? Certainly along the way, you've had a few folks that just don't seem to be happy. They're just positive by nature. Have you ever had a talk with them? And if so, what do you say to someone to help them?
Sure. When you have someone who comes in your organization or a driver that might be having a tough time, whatever their issue is, we're not going to dig deep into their life, but we're going to spend some time with that driver or with that manager and just sort of talk about, what are some of the things that we can key on in their group, in their department, within themselves that they like. What do you like? What do you like? And then sort of start building yourself off of, okay, so we know what you like and we know how you feel and how you tick. And then how can we work with you to bring that out of you more, to make you more of a positive manager and or employee, and that take those attributes that you have and then sort of expand on those and try to make that person see that they can have a influence on, as I said, if it's a coworker and or a customer. And, I think, we have one thing that we have going here at Waste Management is we have a lot of long-term employees here. We don't have a large turnover of employees. And we pay a reasonable rate to our employees. We're probably not the highest, but we're probably not the lowest. But what we try to do and strive for is to make sure that they understand you're walking into a family. You're walking into people that care about you, and the managers care. And my managers work long hours every day, and they spend time after hours to sit with guys to talk to them if they're having some sort of an issue, and whatever that issue might be, work or non-work related. And I think the more that you can develop that within your organization, the stronger that you become, as one. You're a unit of one. You're not 156 employees. You're one, and you're out there hopefully giving the same message to all of your customers. Everybody's talking the same way. Whatever management's saying, and we're happy and we're striving for success, we hope our drivers are doing the same thing out in the street.
That's right. This year, I've heard you talk a little bit about family, and when you're talking about your family of workers there, some of them have been there a long time, turnover is low. So what is it that makes the place feel like family for your team?
Well, I think one thing that we do here is, we have events. We put on cookouts for our drivers, and the reason isn't just to have a cookout. Okay, so I'll tell business managers, I say, celebrate success within your organization. If you have a good month on whatever ranking or something that you're tracking with, if you have a good month, celebrate that with your employees. We concentrate on safety. It's the number one thing in our organization is safety. So whenever we have a safety-free month, we have a cookout. And the cookout is to bring everybody together, and then the manager's the time to be able to be out there, away from the desk, away from the office. You're out under a hut with tables, picnic tables, and you're just talking to them about everything. How's your wife, how's your children, so on and so forth. And I think, once again, that's just another area where we bring that closeness together, and it's been very beneficial to us. We've had our customers come in and see it happening, and they really walk away saying, wow, that's really a good thing to do. And we take pride in that because I think it allows our managers to sort of just go out there and be a person, be a person.
Yeah, I like that. Be a person. That makes sense. Yeah. Well, okay, right now we approach the time to take a break. So on the other side of the show, I want to continue to talk about positivism a little bit. And you're our ambassador, so you're going to be. This is Dan Chiodo, and you're listening to Level Up. We'll be right back after this.
This podcast is brought to you by the ebook Here's Your Trouble, A Christmas Story by Vita Boyd-Jones. When police officer Vi Cooper strides into the harshly lighted ER on Thanksgiving night asking for a blood sample from a wreck victim, Dr. Ed Rogers demands a court order. But in the colorful lights of a Christmas tree, he sees Violet Cooper's softer side without the gun and the badge. In the ER, he must make snap decisions. Can he do the same with emotional judgments? Edmund Rogers is about to learn there's a big difference. The ebook, Here's Your Trouble, A Christmas Story by Vita Boyd-Jones is available now on Amazon.
If you just tuned in, you're listening to Level Up, and this is your host, Dan Chiodo, and with me today is my guest, Larry Berg, and we're talking about positivism and how we stay positive. So, Larry, I want to talk to you a little bit about a situation you faced that was interesting to me because I was around you during this time period, and had someone not told me what was going on, I would have never known because of the way you are in the halls of that organization. But you were married for 35 years to your high school sweetheart, and I wonder if you would tell us a little about that story and how you stayed positive then.
Sure. Well, thank you, Dan. I was married, as Dan said, to my high school sweetheart. We were married 35 years, and in 2013, my wife was stricken with stage 4 brain cancer. And we knew it was a terminally ill disease. We knew that it was going to be a long road or a short road, depending on how quickly the disease took my wife. But, I made some strong decisions at that time. I took Barbara out to potentially the best doctors that I could possibly reach out to. I was blessed to have some great doctors in Houston, Texas that looked over Barbara. And, during this time period, it was immediate leave the office, go take care of your wife situation. But you still have to run a business. You still have to run an organization. And, I have been blessed with some great managers here. And then, of course, some great bosses who allowed me to step away from my job for a period of time while Barbara was going through this. And I always felt that, my personal life, was sort of quiet. I mean, people knew who my wife was and they knew how happy we were together. But, I didn't really get involved in too much with my employees about, what was happening. But when I went to Texas, we went to Texas to give her some treatment. I felt that one thing that could keep me going was to continue to be involved within the organization. So, I kept calling in and meeting with my managers via telephone, and they were very interested in what was happening with Barbara, and I was very interested in knowing what was going on with the business, because we still need to keep picking up the trash and the recycling, and we have a lot of customers that depend on us every day, and I think it was a way for me to sort of just, step away from what was happening in my personal life with my wife until she, eventually had gotten a little bit better. She was good for a couple of years. And then in the last year or so, Barbara's life was taken through a brain tumor that took her life. But, one, I owe a lot to my wife. She was very passionate about life. She was never afraid of death. She taught me a lot. And she always kept me motivated to stay motivated. Okay. She kept me motivated to stay motivated and to continue to work and continue to talk to my people and be in front of my employees and my customers. And life continues, as we all know, as someone passes, you still wake up the next day and you still got responsibilities and things like that. And Barbara was a champion of life continuing for me and my daughter and my granddaughter that I was, very close to. So, I won't say it was easy. Tough times, needless to say, at times. But I think when I look back at my employees and what they did and how they managed the organization while I was away, I was away anywhere from 2 to 3 months at a time, and the company never had to bring a manager into the organization. We had 5 managers underneath me that ran this organization while I was gone, and as I will tell you, it was a testament to them. They know how to run the organization. They know how to treat people and treat customers. And I think, from the outside looking in, probably nobody from the outside really knew that we were short Larry. Larry wasn't there. It was more of the business was running very well. The manager was doing a great job on the street. And it can't make you any more happier. It made me extremely proud of my people and proud of my drivers that I could step away from the business for a period of time, and there's no impact to anyone. There's no impact to our customers, no impact to our business plan and the things that we have that we strive for every day. So it's not easy to do it, but you know what? It's something that you need to continue to just stay positive with life as you go through a tragic situation. And I think people watch you very closely. You have no idea the impact that you personally have on other people who are watching you and seeing how you're handling things. And you'll eventually hear it from, geez, Larry, we can't believe that you did X, Y, Z. But, it wasn't for that. It was just that, a lot of people depend on you, especially as a manager of an organization. And I think the more that they can see you continue positive, continue focused, continue being a friend, being a partner in whatever way, I think we all learn from it. And I hope that my employees and my managers realize that, we're all going to go through tragic situations in our life. And I really hope that they all see that you can still remain a very positive impact to, your coworkers or your friends while you're going through something like that.
Right. Boy, a lot of lessons in there. I think that to have a team that can carry on if you're not there, that's something that we all hope to have. Not everyone does, but you do have that. And that's what being a leader, I think, is all about, that you could teach them to keep things running. And also, what Barbara said about being motivated to stay motivated. I think that's a really good lesson she gave you, and a good one for us. You have to be motivated to stay motivated for others about what's going on, all of that. And thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that very much. And I think, too, we all think we faced some tough times, but that was surely a tough time for you. And if we could all think about that when we're going through something that's part of your life, an important part of your life, but how do we carry on? How are we going to handle this? We all have to make some choices. So,
and you don't. You don't know how you're going to handle it till the situation arises. But I think the more that you are either around someone who's gone through something or you've witnessed something, I think hopefully you can take away that, you still move on. There's still people depending on you, and once again, as a manager, trying to be positive, trying to continue to keep your business running. I think, it tells a lot about your character if you can handle that, and you can stay positive through something that was so tragic as my wife dying at that time.
That's right. And I think that we take our cues from our leaders. As we said, your team is very motivated and happy and positive, so they take that from you. So they also maybe take a cue after seeing what you went through, if they face something, of saying, I do have the option to handle it that way. They've kind of had a role model to see how someone else has handled that. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add to our leadership discussion? This has been just wonderful.
Well, I think we've hit a lot of topics, and as I said, I just hope that that people who are out there listening and watching, realize that the world puts a lot of challenges to all of us, as we all know, and when you wake up in the morning, if you take them head on, you are a positive person, and you're thinking, hey, this is going to be a good day, and we're going to move forward with that. I think you have a bigger impact on people than you probably realize you do. And having an impact on people can be make you feel pretty good going ending the day with, hey, I impacted somebody today. So
that's right. To impact someone, and then you give us another good thought to end with. There are a lot of people out there that talk about, it's a Monday. It's a Monday. So you look for stuff that's going to be not so good for this Monday, but when in what you're saying, do we really take a day and say it's good, and then look for things that are going to be good about it?
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, celebrate the successes. There's a lot of successes within your organization, within your life, and take the time to celebrate them because that'll mean a lot to the other person you're celebrating with, and or your coworkers and your managers.
Yep, terrific. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Larry.
You're welcome.
It's been an inspiration, and thank you for all your thoughts. I really do. Also, a salute to Storm Cloud Marketing and their great team who puts this radio podcast together. You can now find LevelUp on SoundCloud, Stitcher, iTunes, and now Google Play also. Feel free to contact me at dan@danchiodo.net with any comments for future podcasts. We end each show with a challenge for you. And so the challenge would be, are there ways that you could be more positive? Is it time to change things up and get to a new level of positivism for you? Just think about what you might be able to accomplish if you do that. I'll be thinking about that, and I hope you will too. Thanks for joining us at Level Up. Cheers.